So, what is a 10-year treasury note? You guys have heard this a lot. What does this mean? A 10-year treasury is a government bond that matures every 10 years and pays interest every 6 months. It's widely considered the most important financial indicators because it reflects a lot of things like investor confidence, influences of interest rates. It serves as a benchmark for other types of debt like mortgages and corporate loans. The 10-year treasury is widely considered to be one of the most safest instruments out there because in theory what you're doing is you're investing in the country America for 10 years and you're locked in. You're saying, hey, I'm giving my money to this country called America for the next 10 years at 4%, 5%, 6%. So why does a 10-year treasury matter? All right, as I previously stated, it's a benchmark for interest rates, mortgage rates, car loans, corporate borrowing costs are often tied to the 10-year yield. The yield curve is also a key economic indicator. A rising yield suggests economic growth, meaning investors believe that they can get a better return in the short term or right now, like this year. So the government has to give a higher interest rate to entice you to then go buy their 10-year bond. Because remember, you're locked in for 10 years. So like why, like if you know you're about to make 8% this year, you're not trying to get no 4, 5%. So it's also an indicator of inflation as well. Because again, you're thinking that there's going to be growth in the near term, and the government has to entice you to go buy their bond or give you a higher yield or rate of return. Now, a falling yield or rate of return signals economic uncertainty and a lower inflation expectations. Why? Because you're saying, hey, I'm willing to invest in American bonds for sure, like right now, because I think I'll make a higher rate of return, like barely 4 or 5% over the next 10 years versus what I'm going to make today. So you're basically saying, I know for sure I'm not really trying to I'm not going to be making no money this year in the market, right? So you'd rather give this to a more safer, less volatile situation. Now let's talk about investor sentiment. When investors are confident, they shift their money into stocks. Like if you know something, you know you can make money this year, you're going to shift your money into stocks, pushing the yields up. Because again, if your money's over here, you have to entice you to buy my product. When they are fearful, they then go buy treasuries because that's going to push the yield down. Why is that pushing the yield down? Because guess what? The more people who are buying treasuries means, guess what? The U.S. government's like, hey, man, I'm hot, y'all. Like, I'm hot right now. So I don't need to give you the same level of rate of return as you would get in a normal situation because I got everybody over here trying to buy my stuff at the same time. Now, let's talk about the Federal Reserve and their policy in regards to the 10-year treasury. All right. Contrary to popular belief, the Federal Reserve does not directly control treasury yields. These two things are completely different, although they move together. Okay, now this is super important. A lot of people think Jerome Powell has control over the treasury yields. He does not. Let me say this. He does not. Now, granted, his actions can absolutely influence them 100%. 100%, right? Like adjusting interest rates, right? Because these interest rates over here, that what you see on the news, that's different than the treasury yield, right? The treasury yield is more of a marketplace type of situation, right? Where you have buyers and sellers of goods, the 10-year treasury bond being that good.